It will bring us back to doe, a deer, a female deer, ray, a doo-doo golden sun, me a name I call myself, fa, blah, 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 do, re, mi, so, blah, 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 needle, thing, and thread, so, do, re, mi, fa, so, la, run, that goes with so. Tea of things being bread that will bring us back to. At least you know I'm not reading off a bloody teleprompter. I'm trying to remember this. How are you? Welcome back once again. It is time for the comics coffee table. That's right. Pull up a chair, grab a cup of whatever it is you're shoving under your nose. Today, there, Pally. Welcome. I was never a theater kid. We didn't have theater in high school. I mean, we had this like, it was like sophomore year or something. Like freshman year in high school, there was a theater group. They did like Stalag 17 or something. Is that what it is? I should know this. With all my was it Stalag 17? Is that it? Yeah, it is Stalag 17. All right. It's about, because it's all dudes, and it's about an American POW camp in World War II, and or it's about, American airmen confined with 40,000 prisoners in World War II Germany, and it's something that you can like pull off in an all boys Catholic high school. It's not like what else could you do? You could probably do like Ajax. You could probably do 12 Angry Men. And that's the thing about 12 Angry Men. I mean, that you can drop that into 12 Angry Human just like that, and it's just all about the character, the archetype. Casting's a completely nebulous thing in that account too. But yeah, you wouldn't want women. You wouldn't want a mixed camp, prison camp. I guess that would probably be bad news. But yeah, I mean, and then sophomore, I didn't go for that because I was a freshman and I was too shy. But sophomore year, there was like an all assembly with a religious, it was an all boys Catholic high school. And so our religion teacher needed a couple of volunteers to act in a skit that she wrote. And so I volunteered for it. And I had been bitten by the theater bug. And so, but she liked the way, part of my dialogue was I'm on the other side, on the other line of the phone. And so I'm on one corner of the set in the middle of the basketball, hall, you know what I mean? And so I'm just, but I'm doing this thing with my body language and I'm like pretending like I'm really on the phone when she was like, "You're really good with that." And I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rosia Heggie, Mrs. Kavanaugh," from many moons ago. She was our religion teacher at our all-boys Catholic high school, that poor lady. She couldn't have been 30 around all the... Oh, gosh. Oh, man. And thank you so very much for tuning in today. And it's Monday. We hope my first day back at work. Let's see, I survived. And if not, I'll leave my last will and testament is out there somewhere. And Pika knows. And thank you so very much for tuning in. And we assemble here at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily and talk about comic books, floppies, monthly serialized periodical publications. They add up to graphic novels and trade paperbacks, hardcovers, omnibus. And that's just the big two superheroes. That's just and they're, that's an 85-year-old kind of body of work to explore and to examine and to enjoy, and let's keep it joyous. Why don't we? Bring a snack, Pull up a chair, grab a cup of whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. Friend, weary fellow traveler, chowderhead, sizzle chest, turkey pockets. However you identify in this grand spectrum of humanity, you are welcome here. And in this grand spectrum of humanity on planet Earth and beyond. He's the executive producer. He writes everything down, and I'm just the talent. I read everything. And this is our studio audience, the Canadian Bear. And over there in the control booth is Drinka. He's our cameraman, microphone boom mic operator, and set designer, and takes care of the sets and changing, the sets and everything. Yeah. It's like the Muppet Show in here. And yeah, hi, and I'm the talent. I'm your friend Sully, Reverend Sully to some, ordained minister, spiritual dude, also professional chef. And 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. We try to talk about comic books, our hobby, take our minds off our minds, and enjoy our break. Enjoy your coffee break with a couple of like-minded people. If you're here at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily, there's a hoppin' live chat full of some cool cats, always down for some comic book shop style conversation. And you can also continue that in the comment section. Seriously, we just like to talk about comic books here. A lot of the focus ends up being on the superhero stories of the big two, their expectations, their disappointments, their highs and the lows. And this, like as I said, this 85-year long voyage that we've had through this all-American lens of fiction, the superhero. And it's exported very well too, like jazz, like rock and roll, like the automobile, blue jeans, it just, what can I say? Besides, let's get to the show. We are rebagging, reboarding, and reboxing my entire collection. We are near the end of that journey where we will start a new one. After that, the great sorting. Pete and I were talking about this during our weekly show meeting. And I had a PowerPoint presentation all set, Venn diagrams, numbers, statistics, raw data. He didn't care. He just, say, hey, now we're going to make 3 piles. 1, the valuable. 2, the nostalgic. And 3, those who have to go. KISS. Keep it simple, Sully. That's what I say. Some people say keep it simple, stupid. I don't think I call them. I don't think. See, the older you get, the more nicer you want to be to people, unless you want to be a crabbity old person. I don't know. There's a logic there. Let's see what's on the list today. Oh, the show. Very good. We need more boxes. Okay, on the list. We have to get at least 2 or 3 more boxes, and that might set us square. It might make us all Jake. That's one of my favorite expressions, never used around here in these Boston parts. Are we all Jake? That's something I got from the books and stuff. Pre-recorded, but before a live studio audience of my stuffed animals from our Boston studios, which is down the street from the corner. I like saying that. I wrote it. Yes, Pika, I read what down you're right, and then I cross it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. See? Make a list of goals, cross them off. Feel accomplished. You can do it. I know you can. I'm doing it too. If I can, it's one of those cases. If I can do it, you can do it too. Seriously, I'm a big fan of that notion. Okay, so a big part of the show is what we always like to say and announce, and because it is part of the show, is that we love our local comic book shops in this Boston area that we're shooting the show from our Boston studios, I literally have 8 comic book shops within comfortable distance of the public transportation. I don't own a car. So, I mean, and that also factors into my next thing to say about the local comic book shop. I'm getting my supplies there. I'm buying my bags, like polypropylene bags, $6.99 for 100 of these. 100 acid-free boards. This is just one side coated, but these are the usual things. 100 of these will set you back $14.95. Long box probably goes for about $9.99. I think this is my short box. I think I paid $7.99 or $8.99 for this. Either or. It's probably going to be $8.99 any second now too. Just like amazing. Just like all the comics are probably going up to $4.99 any minute now. So I am reboxing, reboarding, and rebagging my entire current collection, which is about 20 years worth of Wednesdays. So I got 8 long boxes. I used to have 8 long boxes. Now I've literally got 2 sparsely populated ones that we're taking care of now. And I'll be done with that. I need supplies because I need to give a little love to my collection. Like, look at this long box. The stains, we've blown out the corners. This long box has done its duty. It's time for it to be retired. I'm a romantic. I would love for this to get recycled into paper that's going to end up in a comic book. I love stuff. Thank you, long boxes. You did a good job. And what do we have here? Well, we're breaking down what's known as my Crisis Long Box. It's the pride and joy of my collection. It's a personal curation of the stories known as the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the multiverse crisis. And it's I've loved the multiverse stories since I was a kid. Crisis on Infinite Earths came out when I was about 12, 13 years old, going on 14. I wasn't quite yet 14, but then I spent, my teenage years plumb right in the middle of the Copper Age. And, I say I'm a Bronze Age baby, but I'm a Copper Age teen, Let's see. What do we got here? Got a couple of trade paperbacks. I thought I put all the trade paperbacks away into one dedicated box. But here are 3 random trade paperbacks that are in and a part of my Crisis long box, my Crisis story. I think this is a huge part of my personal Crisis story. This personal curation. Is it in here? Why would I take it out? Oh well, it's got to be somewhere. They're all somewhere. But these 3 stories in here, I would call crisis level, and they deserve to be part of my overstory, of my personal curation of these crisis stories. And these are trade paperbacks. These are collections. For 1995, from way back in 1999, I was on sabbatical then. There's some great artists in here too. Some really good traditional superhero storybook telling. But here, this had something called the DC 1 million 80-page giant. And in that had it was an anthology, and as an extra thick, extra priced issue, and it had a story by Grant Morrison called Crisis 1 Million. And the only person that's bigger fan of Crisis than I am, I think it's got to be Grant Morrison. Let's look at some credits here. The indicia of this book. This is called JLA 1 Million, originally published in single magazine form as DC 1 million issues 1 through 4, Green Lantern 1 million, Star Women 1 million, JLA 1 million, Resurrection Man 1 million, and Superman the Man of Tomorrow 1 million. This does not have the 80-page giant. I found the 80-page giant at Midtown Comics in Times Square back in 2008. My girlfriend at the time and I went down and spent a couple of days in Manhattan, and we saw Spring Awakening on Broadway, and it was like going to Fenway Park for the first time, seeing a Broadway production. You know, I would love to go back and see something like Cats. You know, just why not? It's fun. You know, let me know when Manhattan becomes a safe space, and I'll be first in line. But yeah, this is some good stuff. This is a really interesting conceit. Take More Fun Comics number 1, published by National Publications, DC Comics, in 1935. Where would they be if when issue 1 million gets published, if at a monthly rate? You know, it just presumes all that stuff. It's fun. We end up in the 853rd century, where there is still a Justice League, superheroes, and the fight against good and evil with familiar archetypes. And this was so much fun. When I came back to comics in 2001, I immediately kind of rediscovered Grant Morrison. Originally, I had to have known who he was in a way because of the Arkham Asylum hardcover book, and then the Animal Man that was going on too at the time, the Doom Patrol. I only knew that peripherally. I really didn't know who Grant Morrison was, and I wasn't buying the Invisibles in the mid-90s either. I came back when I came back with New X-Men by Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely, Igor Cordy, EVS and company, Mark Silvestri. I mean, that was my primer for Morrison. That was my first taste of this phenomenon known as Grant Morrison. So, yeah, this was pretty fun. So, and it deserves to be in my Crisis Long Box alongside of the Crisis Stories. Another one, this is from what, 1989? 1989, the number, another summer, get down. Oh, sound of a funky drummer. Yeah, you know that one. Because you know you got soul, brothers and sisters. Hey, it's a Public Enemy. Respect you live in, house you live in. 1988, it was very close. Check the record, in a record I check. Took the blow, put the... Well, that really dates it. This is a 1991 printing? Seriously? No, this was printed in 92, and I've had this for a while. This is Jim Starlin, Mike Mignola. This is Cosmic Odyssey. Collects issues number 1 through 4. I would love to have the floppies. This is some good storytelling. This is setup. They found a doomsday bomb. And, you know, this is some really good team ups between Jack Kirby's New Gods and the DC superheroes. And it's amazing artwork by someone who I didn't even know at the time was Mike Mignola. And I have my own personal irk with him based upon one circumstance at a Comic-Con in 2015. I mean, I was like, oh, I loved Cosmic Odyssey. I didn't say anything about Hellboy or any of that stuff. The first thing out of my mouth was this. This is like one of my favorite DC stories. And he just looked at me like, and he didn't say it. He looked right through me, and like not that kind of like, you know, Alanis Morissette way. I'm talking like, you know, like I was a nobody or something. Like it just like it was really dissettling. Like, ugh. Yeah, sorry, Mike, but should I base everything upon that one little interaction so many years ago? Should I be forgiving? Should I unblock you on Twitter? I do not have them blocked. I don't think so. But this is a wonderful, wonderful book. See, they have to split into 4 different teams and find these doomsday bombs, these big threats, and then the team up of John Jones and John Stewart. John Jones decides to play hero. And be bigger than the situation and leave John Jones behind. And this is like one of the worst moments in John Stewart's life. All right. Look at this. Look at these panels. Nothing. That's a hand-drawn. This is hand-drawn lettering, by the way. Who's doing the lettering in this? Look at this. Just look at this. Jeanette Kahn, Paul Levitt, Mike Carlin. This is old school. Look at that. Bob Wayne. Dan DiDio, VP of Editorial. Wow, that should date. When did this happen? Indeed. When did I get this book? Where did I go? Okay. We were looking up who the letterer was. Where's the... Doesn't say. Really doesn't say. Is it Olaf? No, John Workman. John Workman is the letterer. Okay, because even to this day, Ronin Book 2 from Frank Miller Presents, I've gotten every issue, and I keep saying, like, look at this lettering. That's John Workman lettering. Okay, yes. Have some John Workman lettering, please. He's up there with Tom Morachowski. But look at this. There's nothing. There isn't anything I can't do. When I set my mind on something, nothing can stop me. Nothing. But, well, that's not exactly true now, is it? And I don't know who this person is based after. But then I wonder if he's supposed to look like some kind of smarmy DC editor or something like that. Who is that supposed to be? But because of a minor impurity in the Ring's power source, basic structure, they can't affect anything that's colored yellow. Listen, look at that panel. Look at those panels. Look at that. Look at that. 5 sequential pieces of art. 2 pages. 1 big splash page. Look at that. This is fucking amazing. This is a crisis level event for me. And this is John Stewart's hubris. And that is the planet Xanshi. And that's what happened to the planet Xanshi and John Stewart. Ladies and gentlemen. And one of the last trade paperbacks that live in the ever-dwindling... Oh, no, there's a couple more. Well, let's see what we got here. Oh, shit. You hear that? That's the sound of your comic books flopping over and getting more and more spine crack. That's a ding. Look at that. Oh, look at that. You're cracking me up, kid. I got the first 2 issues of Doomsday Clock here, and I think I got the final one out on my spinner rack with my copy of Watchmen. These were like, this is probably the most recent of anything besides, no, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. Okay. So this came before that, but this is crisis worthy. It should have been crisis worthy. This was just drowned out by all the noise of what was going on in 2017, 2016, 2018. And the delays and everything. This is just, yeah, this was, didn't happen. Oh, well, interesting. I know why this one's here. This is Planetary Crossing Worlds. And this is set in the Wildstorm universe. It's written by Warren Ellis, all three of these. Planetary Crossing Worlds were these one-shots that were not part of Planetary's 27-issue run. So Planetary, literally, it's kind of is like 30 issues. Jerry Ordway art in this. Phil Jimenez, John Cassaday. Look at that. That's a murderer's row of artists. You know about this book? This is Crossing Worlds. Planetary. Planetary is the Wildstorm team of superhero archaeologists. Looking up the mythologies and all these like old, like, kind of like this exploration of the golden and the silver and the bronze ages through like Warren Ellis's unique lens of comic book history. They're making new pastiches of old archetypes in this Wildstorm world. Oh, good stuff. Planetary, some good stuff. Actually, got Planetary 26 and 27 are part of this personal crisis edit. And there's 3 tales of different parallel Earths. Batman Night on Earth is amazing. It's just it's basically tripping through the multiverse. Planetary Batman, Night on Earth, yeah. Then you have Planetary JLA, Terra Occulta, which is set on its very own unique Earth with its very own unique Trinity. The Justice League, it's just Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent and Diana. And they are essentially who they've always been, heroically. But they're pitted up against an evil version of Planetary that exists only on that Earth. And then there's Planetary the Authority, ruling the world. Art by Phil Jimenez. So showing some like really good, like Warren Ellis, the person that invented the Authority. And Planetary. I mean, good stuff. Yeah, I would totally tell anyone to invest in that one. I don't know why you're in here, but I know why I would have you in there. But look at this is Batman Elegy by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III. This is from Detective Comics, which had this really wonderful run. Dave Stewart, the colorist, Todd Klein on letters. Let's look at the indicia. The panel progression in the art in this is just impeccable. Yeah, this was a Tech 854 to 850, 2009, 2010. And this is like right before Flashpoint. So Kate Kane here gets through Flashpoint relatively unscathed. J.H. Williams III goes on to write and draw it, and Kate Kane to this day is an enduring character. But dig these panel progressions. Look at this, and this is basically this is what the first season of the show is based upon. The CW TV show. Look at these panels. Look at this art. Someone inking him? No, it's just G.H. Williams. He draws and inks it. Just look at this. Batman and Batwoman go back to the Silver Age. The Silver Age Batwoman was a Kathy Kane who was in love with Batman, Bruce Wayne. And that Kathy Kane had a Batgirl, the original Silver Age Batgirl. Or is it the late Golden Age Batgirl? There. Let's look it up real quick. That's why we have the wiki. Golden Age Batgirl. Let's see. Golden Age Batgirl. There you are. Is her name's Betty? Golden Age Batwoman. Golden Age Batgirl. Betty Kane, yeah. Betty Kane, yeah. That's right. Okay. And she had a huge crush on Robin. So it was kind of like her first appearance as Batgirl was in April of 1961, making her part of the Silver Age. And Betty Kane's first appearance was in Detective Comics 233, July of 1956, making her right at the very. This is that really gray zone. It's October of 1956 is when showcase number 4 comes out, and that's the premiere of Barry Allen. But, you know what I mean, here is another new character in this string of new characters, too. So she was introduced as a love... We're reading this from the wiki! The love interest for Batman in order to combat allegations of Batman's homosexuality arising from the controversial book Seduction of the Innocent by psychiatrist Dr. Frederick Wertham in 1954, who warned that comic books were a negative form of popular literature and a serious cause of juvenile delinquency. That's Seduction of the Innocent. That's big. And then comes the Comic Code seal of approval, the Comic Code Authority seal of approval, the end of the Golden Age, the end of horror comics, and the new appropriateness. Yeah. So yeah, she's Silver Age, of course. That's not good. She's not the last gold. Is she the last Golden Age character ever? No, I don't. I think that's maybe because John Jones's Martian Manhunter, I think, he gets introduced like yeah, in 1955. Yeah, Detective Comics 225 in November of 1955. But that's so, that's like, see, we've entered some kind of demilitarized zone of comic book ages. It's not just as cut and simple. It never really is. It's just it's a fog. But yeah, Batwoman Elegy. This is some really, 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 really good stuff. Good comic book storytelling. Look at these panels. Look at the art. Look at the sequence of panels telling this huge. Look at that. This is just good shit. And to close out the random crisis level trade paperbacks that ended up in my DC Crisis long box, this curation of beloved DC Universe stories that I think deserve to be like in like the big retelling. These deserve to be part of it. The one, the only, the legendary, maybe even out of print. I got this used at my local comic book shop in the used trade paperback bin, and years ago, and I don't regret it. Well, this is JLA Avengers by Kurt Busiek and George Perez, issues number 1 through 4, I believe. Yep. 2003, 2004. I remember when these were coming out. My buddy, the roommate, had he had the floppies. Hopefully he still does. And hopefully he's got bags and boards. But this starts off kind of just like Crisis on Infinite Earths by the artist who drew Crisis on Infinite Earths. This is a universe-hopping, property sharing. Look, starts Earth 3's Crime Syndicate of America. Just like Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, it goes there. And it blends the DC universe with the Marvel universe successfully. Under the who else? I mean, this is actually one of my... This is like when everyone's starting to get along. Because in the beginning... That's how far in the big... I'm going to show you one of my favorite interactions between... And this is... And it harkens to the power of mythology. And... oh gosh! Oh, this is this great Perez art. It's Diana, and it's the JLA versus the Avengers, And those are very specific eras of the heroes as well. And so this hops around space and in time. You blink and you're in another kind of reality where you're not with Wally anymore, you're with Barry. You're not with Kyle anymore, you're with Hal. This is great. This is Hercules versus Wonder Woman, Diana. From the same mythology, but from two completely different universes. And Wonder Woman's mother is Hippolyta, who is part of Greek mythology and in the Hercules story. And Heracles, ravishes Hippolyta. And this is a 2-pager. Are you Heracles? Did a spoiler of Hippolyta? I would not use those words myself, but I did have the honor of oof. And like that right there says a lot. Because Marvel Hercules, I don't think did that. They probably had his Hippolyta and himself hopefully had a nice consensual grand old time. But Diana's experience is closer to the true myth than Marvel's is. Is it not? But this is look at that. In 2003, a decade and a half before, Endgame. Look at that. Isn't that cool? This is so good. And the mashups, and then we have a mashup universe too. We have Hawkeye is with Black Canary. And this and that. And this is just, it's really worthy of being probably the last thing to say about the random trade paperbacks that lived in my Crisis long box. This has been a really awesome time. Thank you so very much. Oh, look at this. This is just so good. Gee, wow, look at that. Look at that Perez Spider-Man. Too bad we didn't get more Perez Spider-Man in our life, huh? Look at that. I can feel that. Wow. That's great. And look at this. It's Teen Titans and Infinity Incorporated as contemporaries and not, rival properties in 1983. You know what I mean? This is so cool. This is one of probably the best kind of comic books that we can get. And to top it all off, again, before Endgame, he is worthy. He is worthy. Of course, Kal-El is worthy to wield Mjolnir. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We've been talking about my DC Crisis long box, and we're dismantling it. Just going over the random trade paperbacks that, in my humble opinion, are so part of this experience of the multiverse, then the Crisis, and that they deserve to be part of the song sung. Thank you so very much. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. We talk about comic books and pull up a chair, grab a cuppa, whatever it is you're shoving under your nose today there, pal. You are welcome here at our very own Comics Coffee Table. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.